Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, obviously there's big news, because I got all my work done, and I was just going to have a lovely day sitting, making decks and testing on PTCGO. There was always going to be big news. There is big news. Pikachu VMAX has gone and been revealed. Now, we knew that there was going to be a Pikachu VMAX. The dummy artwork from Astonishing Volt Tackle, Sword and Shield 4 in Japan, did feature the Chonky Boy himself. And now that we have the final artwork for the pack, it looks startlingly similar. But we also have a new Pikachu V, and we've got Pikachu VMAX. I say a new Pikachu V because, of course, remember, we have already had a Pikachu V. We'll do a little bit of a comparison in a moment. So starting off then with Pikachu V, translations as is customary from the lovely Antoine Boulet, who else? Pikachu V then comes in with 190 HP, and that's low for a Pokemon V, incidentally, that's lower than we'd like. Retreat cost of 1, which does open up U-turn board, which is quite nice for free retreat. A weakness to fighting, meaning it shares a weakness with all kinds of stuff like Vikavolt, Eternatus, etc. That is not a particularly good thing. It is a weakness that's going to have people gunning for it. You would rather not be sharing that weakness. And you are a Lightning Pokemon, and Lightning Pokemon's kind of cool. Yeah, sure, you're losing Thunder Mountain, and yeah, sure, you're losing Electro Power. They are going with the rotation. But you're still going to have Tapu Koko to accelerate a little bit of extra energy. You're still going to have Pikachu and Zekrom to accelerate energy, and as a good partner. And then you've all got kinds of stuff like Boltund, and we've got some really nice lightning Pokemon around, so this is going to have some nice natural partners for its deck. Now, in terms of the attacks here, the first one is a kind of attack I'm not a big fan of. 1 lightning energy, and you get to search your deck for 2 lightning energy and attach them to this Pokemon. The good news is that you can essentially use that to set yourself up for next turn, which is nice. But the bad news is you accelerate energy to Pikachu. You leave Pikachu in the active, and then your opponent gets a free hit, which is not a good thing. You do have a bad weakness, or at least a common weakness that people are going to be gunning for. You got low HP, and you're accelerating energy to yourself and sitting in the active saying, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And a lot of people will probably think that they are, in fact, hard enough. Sure, if you don't take a hit, if you know your opponent isn't going to get you next turn, then you can just do this and you're ready to go. And certainly if your opponent has a slow start, you go second. Turn 1, single energy, use the attack. Turn 2, you can see it's going to be 200 damage. Yes. However, I think far more often you're going to attach energy to yourself and then be giving up a couple prizes. Now, as for the second attack, 2 lightning, 1 colorless, 200 damage, and you do have to discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. Is it worth it? Frankly, no. It's not worth it. Because, you see, I could show you Tapu Koko V. And Tapu Koko V is another 2-prize Pokemon. It has 200 HP, which is 10 more. It has free retreat. It has an attack that does 20 damage and draws 2 cards. And for free energy, it does 200 damage, but it can't attack next turn. But you don't lose the energy, and you've got free retreat, and you've got more HP. So, frankly, this first attack, I'm not loving it. If you want to be accelerating energy, use Boltund's Electrify, and you get to attach 2 lightning energy to any of your bench Pokemon, and then even if your opponent takes out your active Boltund, you've still kept the energy, whereas with Pikachu, you've lost the energy. The first attack is not as good as Boltund, the second attack is not as good as Tapu Koko, and a lot of the time I'd rather have Boltund as well. I am not a particularly big fan of Pikachu V. But the good news is that Pikachu V leads to Pikachu VMAX. And I do like Pikachu VMAX. We're going up to 310 HP, which is low for a VMAX. But having said that, it's still higher than the weakest ones like Morpeko, so it could be worse, if that's a selling point. You go up to a retreat cost of 2, which means you need Air Balloon, but you can still move them out the active. Same weakness, but you've got 1 new attack here. 3 lightning energy, 120 damage. You may discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 150 more damage. And now, first of all, I am loving this way more. Secondly, I am lamenting the loss of Electro Power. We'll get to the Electro Power point in a moment. You see, now we can look at this Chonky Pikachu and go, you know what? This gives us something we don't have. We can do 270 damage with Boltund, that is possible, but Boltund does 10 damage base, plus 30 more for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So if you've got 8 energy out, you're doing 250. If you've got 9 energy out, you're doing 280, but Boltund, you need 9 energy. They don't all have to be on Boltund, only 2 of them do, but you still need 9 lightning energy on the field. That will often be prohibitive. If we look at Pikachu and Zekrom, the maximum amount of damage you're doing in any attack is 200. Tapu Koko V, the maximum amount you're doing in any attack is 200. Raichu and Alolan Raichu, another good one, sees a whole bunch of play. Maximum amount of damage you're doing in one attack. You can actually get up to 250 here, but that's for 5 energy, and it's your once per game GX attack. And it's still 20 damage short, while costing 2 more energy and being limited to once during the game, and locking you out of other GX attacks. And what Pikachu VMAX does, and it does it beautifully, is it gives you another option. It gives you a bigger, badder, harder hitting option for Lightning decks. If you look at the Lightning Pokemon we're playing at the moment, without a huge amount of bother, you're not hitting as hard. Pikachu hits harder. And it does actually remind me quite a lot of Eternatus VMAX. Now, you've got 30 less HP, which is a little bit sad. But Eternatus VMAX for 2 energy does 270 if you've got 8 Darkness Pokemon in play, or 8 on the bench plus Eternatus in the active. Pikachu VMAX for 3 energy does 270, as long as you've got the 3 energy on. Now, Eternatus is slightly bigger, but Pikachu's still doing 270. They're both eminently payable attacks. There's a lot of parallels to be drawn here. And the thing is, if you put this in a Pikachu and Zekrom deck, if you put this in a deck with Tapu Koko, you know, this is a turn, well, the turn you get it out attack. You can have a Pikachu VMAX with no energy on and go Tapu Koko onto Pikachu and another Pokemon, energy switch it over, and then attach a third energy, and boom, you're off and rolling. You're a Pokemon VMAX, so you've got that Rose supporter we are getting in Darkness Ablaze, the one that lets you attach 2 basic energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon VMAXs. You got to discard your hand, but you can play stuff like Rose Tower, or you can play Silvally. There are ways around it, so I'm really not terribly upset. I think we'll cope just fine. Turbo Patch will work before you evolve into a VMAX. Flip a coin, and if heads, you get to attach a basic energy to one of your basic non-GX Pokemon. And my point here is, we've got so many ways to accelerate the energy onto here that, realistically speaking, you should be able to hit 270 basically every turn. And Pokemon have come out and basically gone, look mate, you can do 270, right? 270 is what we're going to allow. 270 will get the majority of tag teams. It won't get Arceus and Alga and Palkia, but it's alright, Vitality Band has got your back. It is sad that we're losing Electro Power, because with Electro Power, 1 would be hitting 300, 2 would be hitting 330. I mean, with 2 Electro Power and a Vitality Band, you'd be getting a 1-hit KO on an Eternatus VMAX, and of course you need 2 KOs to win, and 2 Electro Power per KO, 4 Electro Power in your deck. Oh, look how that worked out. So this is one of those Pokemon that has really been impacted by the rotation of Electro Power. But what I can say about this is really simple. People like Eternatus. Eternatus is getting a lot of hype. It's seeing a lot of play and a lot of success over in Japan. People think Eternatus is good. Eternatus hits 270. This hits 270. It's a VMAX. You've got to accelerate a bunch of energy. We've got like a million different ways to do it. You don't have to have 8 bench Pokemon out to do it. In what way? I mean, I know it's got 30 less HP, but other than that, is this really any worse than Eternatus VMAX? Bit less HP, which is relevant. I know I've mentioned lower HP a few times, and it is relevant. That could be the difference. But you've basically got the same weakness, cheaper retreat cost, same amount of damage, but I would argue that getting the free energy on Pikachu is easier than getting 2 energy on Eternatus with 8 bench Pokemon there as well. I love this. I think this is absolutely brilliant. I think this is a genuinely relevant Pikachu, and as much as I don't like Pikachu V, and I'm sorry, I do like Pikachu VMAX, I really do. Now, there are a couple of ancillary points before we finish here. We do need to compare this new Pikachu V to the other Pikachu V, because of course this is not the first Pikachu V we've had, but it is different. I told you I thought we were getting a new one, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now that it's been confirmed, shockingly, I am 100% sure. The other one had the same 190 HP, the same retreat cost to 1, the same weakness to fighting. 1 energy, 30 damage, 2 energy, 30 damage for each of your bench Pokemon, which with a full bench should leave you hitting 150. And I know that it's 150, not 200, but it's for 2 energy, not 3, and it doesn't rely on using that first attack in the active. Honestly, I am torn as to which Pikachu V to use. I like being able to drop free energy and do 200 because lightning can get the energy out. But I do like the 2 energy attack, and I do like the not discarding the energy. I kind of like both of them, and I can't make a decision right now. I'm sorry, I think they both have merit. One cool thing to note, there is a promotion going on in Japan at the moment where you can get yourself a lovely booster pack. And in said lovely booster pack, there is an alternate art Pikachu V. Here's the artwork so you can compare it. And there is an alternate art Pikachu VMAX. Who wants a cuddle? And if anybody thinks the alternate art Pikachu VMAX isn't better, we need to have a word, alright? Because I'm confused and a bit scared. So let's go ahead and give Pikachu VMAX between 4 and 5 wussies. I know that seems high, but in a world where Eternatus VMAX is hitting 270 every turn and is awesome, then a Pikachu VMAX that can hit 270 every turn should similarly be awesome. But I'd like to know what you think. We don't give half horses, that would be barbaric. Did I say that? I've said it now. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.